There's too much memory here. It overwhelms me, almost drowns me, and secretly I'm tempted to let it. I could live here, couldn't I?
So looking at platforms that support that kind of thing. And I was wondering if you did fancy a little project based on one of the stories from the collection called The Garden. And it's a sequel to the first story in the first collection, The Haunted House. The second story, The Garden, is kind of a follow-on, but I suppose it is, yeah, it's a follow-on. It's quite a short piece,
okay.
Only a couple of hundred words. The first idea I had was I'd just do a reading of it, but then I thought that could be a bit dry.
Why don't we try and make like a little short film? Rather than just you standing there reading it, we could maybe use voice over of you reading it, but actually create something visually that kind of mirrors the story itself.
So kind of do almost a music video, I suppose, in a way, that kind of idea. So
do people do that? Do authors do that? Like a book video? I don't know. What's it called? Are we creating a genre now?
I think possibly, yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a short film or music video for a piece, other than maybe like spoken word artists. But then, yeah, I don't know if anybody's done. Yeah, if you went with the short film.
You never get Monty Don doing this shit.
So in terms of coming up with the audio for this piece of work, we were very conscious of the actual wording of the story itself. So the story is primarily about a dream that Dale has had, or the fictionary character has had. We used Logic Pro X to record our audio and combined a series of analog guitar parts with software instruments that are built into Logic.
When Dale approached us about the project, it was really good that he was willing to put his faith and his trust in us to come up with the 2 extra components that would match his amazing story. Nick quite quickly did the background music itself and set the vocal to that, which kind of set the tempo and the style of the overall piece. It was my job then to come up with the visual. We had quite a bit of time to think about what that would look like, kicked quite a few ideas around, came up with a lot of more abstract ideas for how we could do the visual. But in the end we decided, because the narrative was so clear and descriptive, it really put you in that situation, in that shoes, as any good author does. So I actually ended up with the visuals just really complementing what the audio was doing. So this first scene is very much kind of the top layer of the piece, where Dale is at a table, he's actually writing I dreamed of the garden again, which is the opening line of the story. So this is kind of before we go into the narrative and get stuck into what's actually going on in the story. So for this we used the 90mm Canon macro lens, and we just wanted to again reiterate the fact Dale is an author and this is about an author's work coming to life, and the narrative then kicks in.
I dreamed of the garden again.
We actually used my back garden, so yeah, I got some free gardening done. We worked quite hard to try and ensure that we were not overly doing it so it was exact, but we were giving a visual nod to quite specific parts of the story.
Almost drowns me in secret.
So I think this is one of the favourite shots for me in the whole video. It's about Dale talking about how the emotion sort of drowns him. And so we saw a bucket in my garden. It was quite a dull day, but we could still see a reflection in it, so just having Dale's face mirrored back in it as it slowly moved with the air. And then obviously when we're talking about it drowning, Nick filming and I was just doing a little watering can droplets into the bucket.
Really, I'm tempted to let it.
This was the next level of the dream where Nick had done quite a instrumental part without any narrative going over it, and I wanted to use that to get a bit looser with the visuals, a bit more abstract. We spent quite a bit of time trying to make sure that transition worked, and on one of the sequence or one of the takes I was spinning around trying to get this really delirious, dreamlike transition, and just got so dizzy, just fell over.